Alright, so for the articulation, let's start off with the head and neck. So I'm just going to show one side because, right, that's just easier. So he could go side to side right around this much with me being cautious, right? His mouth is ball jointed. The other side, he can go right around this much as well. He can look down right around this much. He can look up right around that much. He could pretty much look straight forward completely, like completely forward. Yeah, like that much or more. But I'm trying not to have the joints pop off, right? Next, we have the arm and elbow articulation. So he can put his elbow forward that much, right? He could also go about that far. The articulation seems to be boosted from when I first played it, or like it got better. Probably got looser actually, but you know it's bending a lot more than before. So yeah, it's overall pretty good. Hand can move a full 360, right? But it just pops off. But you can do that if you want. As well as the fact that I could go like that. Bam, 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 right? Just the normal stuff. This pretty much can't move, but it is a floating piece, right? So over here, the arm itself can, you know, let's put on a T pose, right? Right, so we have it back on. We have it back on. So he could have a T pose like that. He could T pose pretty decently, right? It's some pretty good range, honestly. But yeah, it's pretty good. Now on to the leg articulation, right? So let me put this all the way upwards because I'm using this leg. You could do a full 360, but be sure it doesn't pop off because it tends to pop off, right? So his leg could go downward that much. It could go upward that much. It could go side to side. There is a floating piece once again, but that I think that helps, right? You can bend the leg this much, right? It can bend that much. Pretty decent, right? But yeah, no, that's pretty much all the feet articulation. So the torso articulation, which I forgot to show off before, he could go downward that much, right? And then he could go upward this much. He could also go side to side, I think to the point of a 360, right? Yeah. You could do a 360 if you want, but I'm not. Okay, fine, I'll show it off. I'll show off a 360. But yeah, no, he could do a 360. It's actually pretty good torso articulation. It's better than most of the figures I have, which isn't really saying much, but it's better than most of the figures I have. Now, onto the tail articulation. I'm trying not to make sure some of the tail pops off because, you know, then I have to retake everything, but it could go upwards that much. There's just a ton of posability with this tail. It is an amazing, phenomenal tail. My only problem is that it can't really keep its pose the best out of some of my other figures, which are MonsterArts and not MonsterArts, but this one, I think it can use a little help in maintaining its pose, right? But, you know, he's really good other than that. You could get a lot of cool posability. Overall, I mean, the tip of the tail falls off, but that's with every figure. But overall, you get a ton of posability, and, like, it's just really good. It's phenomenal, honestly. It's probably one of my favorite tails on a figure. I think I like it more than my Haya 1991, but it's a phenomenal tail. So, onto the paint and detail. So you can't really see it as good on my camera because my camera is on my iPhone and it has horrible quality for some reason. But his detailing is really good, honestly. It's well detailing throughout the entire figure. I think that it's honestly phenomenal. And I think Tamashi did a great job, but this is, I'm pretty sure, the same sculpt as the reissue. As for the paint, it's just darker because it's based on when Godzilla's fighting Monster X, when he shoots his heat ray with the Monster X, like, while fighting Monster X, right? So it's darker, it's more darker for, like, a nighttime aesthetic, right? I'm sure it'll pair well with Monster X as well. The dorsals have an amazing, beautiful orange and white mix. It's amazing, really. And we'll get to the dorsals later. I have an entire section for those. But they're really phenomenal. The paint that over here is just really good. I'm kind of sad that it doesn't go throughout the entire figure because it's really phenomenal. But hey, I mean, Tamashii did do a really good job with the paint personally on this figure, but I would prefer the lighter colors of the reissue, if that makes sense. As well as over here on the claws, I'm pretty sure this is lighter paint than the reissue, right? Same with over here on the feet, right over here, right? But overall, I think it's really good. It's pretty good paint. It'll go well with Monster X or Kaiser Ghidorah. But yeah, no, I think Tamashii did a good job with the paint on this guy. And I almost forgot to mention, the eyes are decal, which I'm putting in this section because technically I should, right? But the eyes are decal. They look a lot better. You can see them right there. Mine are perfect, pretty much. The teeth paint is pretty good, honestly. I love the mouth paint. The mouth paint is just phenomenal. And it really goes well with when you're using the accessories. And the yellow teeth there, too. Kind of helps whenever you're putting the heat ray on, but you don't really see those teeth. But the mouth paint is just phenomenal. I mean, looking at it myself, it's amazing. It has a beautiful orange color to it. The white to, just kind of show, kind of like how heat rays are insanely hot, right? So it has that white paint to show that it's extremely hot. But honestly, this is phenomenal. Like, the paint in the mouth is just amazing. It's probably one of my favorite parts of the paint for the figure. But the tongue is not articulated, by the way. But, overall, I think Tamashii cooked with the paint on this, and yeah, it's probably one of my favorite paints on the figure, to be honest. So, anyways, on to the next section, which is, I think, the accessories, right? Which you just saw one, but we're gonna get to the accessories now. Alright, so these are the accessories, right? So we have Gotengo, who, by the way, is amazingly detailed and is not made of metal, or I forgot what metal Tamashii uses on their Kiryus, but I think it was, I don't remember the name, but that's besides the point. It is not metal, right? It's to have more detail, and honestly, this has some articulation too, but we'll get to that in a little bit after looking at the heat rays. So the heat ray is genuinely phenomenal. This over here is really cool, and it's not phenomenal. It's basically the average MonsterArts heat ray, but with a spiral effect, right? As you can see, this is glued on. This was pre-glued on, by the way. I did not glue it on, but this is glued on, so make sure you don't break the spiral unless you have glue, right? But then we also got the base, which I think is honestly really good. I really like the base. Gotengo, as I said, amazing detail. I think Tamashii did an amazing job with this guy. I'm going to take him out of the stand real quick. There's usually something to cover this up, by the way. I still have it. It's just somewhere else right now. But over here, you can see there's some red down here, right? And I think it looks amazing, personally. It's a great red. And there's also some articulation, right? So you may know this already, but you can move the drill 360. I think a lot of stop motion creators would like that. You could also move these, which I'm pretty sure these are to indicate if it's flying or not. But I haven't watched the film in a while, so memory's a little funky. But that's what the accessories are, right? I think overall pretty good accessories. Detailing is amazing on the Gotengo specifically. These are just normal heat rays and stuff, but honestly, I think Tamashii did an amazing job with this thing. And now we're going to move on to the next section, which I'm naming translucency. So, yeah. Alright, so now that we're looking at the translucency, let's start off with Goji himself. So, obviously, dorsals are translucent. They look amazing. Amazing glow to it if you have a strong enough flashlight. And on camera, it's a lot brighter than it actually is. But it looks amazing on here. I actually think that the camera looks better, in my opinion, because it's a lot more bright and vibrant, and I really like that. As well as the fact that over here, the backside is also translucent, right? You can probably see it right there. It's a translucent glow. Can't really show it, but you can see it here. You can see that it is translucent. The entire tail is also with translucent plastic because of the dorsals. Unless it's the floating pieces. I'm pretty sure the floating pieces are rubber. But yeah, no, they're amazing. And a little snippet that I did not know from Tamashi until when I first recorded this. The translucent neck. The neck is translucent, kind of like in the film. Which is actually, it's not translucent in the film, but what I mean is that the heat ray, when he's shooting the heat ray, there's an orange glow in the neck, right? So they added that, and I think it's personally really cool. You can see it as well. It's honestly really cool in my opinion. I don't know if the mouth is translucent or not. I don't think so, but I wouldn't be surprised. But now, here's the heat ray. And obviously, it's going to be fully translucent. Same with the base. The base will be fully translucent as well. But, you know, this is a 2-minute section somehow. But that's pretty much all I wanted to show with translucency. So, on to my, I think it was my thoughts, right? Yeah. So, the question y'all have been asking. Should you buy this? Or, not all of you, but some of you. Should you buy this? If you want to spend $200 on probably the best version of Final Wars, then go ahead, because it's an amazing improvement. And the accessories are great, even though there's really just Gotengo. But, hey, he's great. He's great. Gotengo's great. We all love Gotengo. But overall, I mean, if you want to spend $200 on the Godzilla Final Wars Heat Ray version with the Gotengo and the Heat Ray, then go ahead. But if you don't want to spend $200, wait for the Haya toys. Unlike me, because I didn't want to wait for the Haya toys. It takes too long. But overall, if you don't want to buy it, get the Haya toys. If you do want to buy it, go ahead. Who's stopping you? Overall, I think this is a great figure. I feel like there's some problems, like joint tolerance, in my opinion. There's, like, some problems with, like, the hands, right? And also just the tip of the tail, which always falls off on my figures. But, also just the tail joint tolerance, it always pops off, and it gets really tedious. The head, I try to make sure it doesn't pop off, but it just does. I mean, in a previous take, it actually fell into my cereal that's right next to me, actually. You can see it right there. But yeah, no, overall, I think it's really good. I think Gotengo is what sold me on this, and I think it's what sold many other people to buy this. So overall, if you want a cool-looking Gotengo and a cool-looking Godzilla for $200, or $190 or more, it's practically $200, then go ahead. I mean, I don't know who's stopping you, but he's a great figure in my opinion, and I think that he's just phenomenal in my opinion. But yeah, that's all, guys. And here's a photo montage that I made because I wanted to include my photos. Why? I just said why. But yeah, no, here's some photos. Yeah, just some photos.